What's up? So, I'm going to be sharing my morning breathing routine, and I'm going to demonstrate it while sitting upright. However, I actually normally do it sitting down, which just looks like this, if you can see. So, keep my knees up and just sit here, and that's it. So just want to put that out there. The reason I do it laying down is just because it helps me breathe properly. And what I mean by that is your breath should follow a normal breath wave, which starts from the lower abdomen and lower back and makes its way up towards the ribs and then to the upper chest and upper back. So with that proper breath wave, not only are you coming from the lower abdomen up to the upper chest, you are also making sure that you are expanding that breath in a 360-degree manner, meaning it's reaching the front, sides, and back of your trunk region. So for me, again, it helps to have like that external stimulus, aka the floor, to properly make that flow upwards and outwards. You don't want your breathing to be vertical in nature, like that's vertical. You want it more horizontal, again, so it's expanding laterally or outwards. You can't really see it, but so that's important. But as I explain it here, the first thing I do is I start with what's called a breathing light protocol. And what this looks like is when you're inhaling it, you're always taking a smaller volume of air into the body with each breath. So as you continue to breathe, each breath is going to get smaller with the amount of oxygen that it takes into the body. And this is to kind of create a higher tolerance to carbon dioxide. So you're learning to deal with a higher sense of carbon dioxide. And I won't get into details with that, but that is an important thing with breathing, and breathing properly and efficiently is probably the better word to use. So my breathing mechanics and my breathing patterns are very poor, and so this is why it's something that I work on daily. And so this first exercise is actually super critical for me, so that I can kind of fix the issues that I have, because I believe that I'm a chronic overbreather. Again, which is not good for the body, not good for the mind. It's honestly just not good for health in general. So after I do the breathe light exercise, I do that for about 5 minutes. And if there comes a point where you're like needing a little bit more air, because again, you're kind of getting lower and lower and lower with the amount of oxygen you're bringing in, so you are going to have that desire for air, or what's called like air hunger. When you get to that point that you can't really take it anymore, go ahead and just breathe regularly for about 10 to 15 seconds, and then go ahead and continue it again. So again, I do this for about 5 minutes. The next thing I do is a 1-to-2 ratio of inhale to exhale. So for an example, you could probably start a little bit lower and maybe do 2 to 4 seconds or 3 to 6 seconds. So you would inhale for 3 seconds, exhale for 6 seconds. This protocol really aims to activate the parasympathetic system, and it really allows you to relax and get in your body. And that's why I start with that, just because it helps me to again go through that breath wave properly and really focus on that. And then again, it puts me in a more relaxed state, but I kind of also just feel more confident moving into some of the other protocols that I'm doing them correctly, because I'm kind of resetting my breathing system by doing this. So I'll kind of do that for 5 to 10 breaths. It really depends on the day. It depends on how I'm feeling. Like if I really feel like things aren't kind of moving very quickly, I'm not like really getting it, then I'll do it for longer. But if things are moving seamlessly, everything feels good, then I'll move on to the next protocol. So it really can differ. The next one that I'll do is called boxed breathing. So how I learned this is that there are 4 corners of the breath. You have your inhale, inhale, hold, exhale, exhale, hold. So with box breathing, the seconds are going to stay the same for all 4 corners of the breath. So let's go with 4 seconds. So you're going to inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4, exhale, hold for 4 seconds. So what that looks like is inhale, that's 4, and then you hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and then you repeat. So with that, it's also important to note that with these methods, I'm only breathing through the nose. So that's really critical with these specific protocols. It's just through the nose. After I do boxed breathing, which again, I'll probably do that for 10 to 15 breaths. Again, it just kind of depends on how I feel and how it's making me feel. I just like to make sure that, again, everything's feeling like it's in the proper way and that my body is receiving it well. So once I get to that point, I go into the Wim Hof method. So if you've heard of this, or you know who Wim Hof is, then you might be familiar with the protocol. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate it for you, but you could also always go onto his website and get an explanation from him as well. So I'm sure he explains it much better than I do, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you what that looks like. Now this is one where you actually inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. You increase your respiratory rate and you do a maximal breath hold. So essentially what happens is for about 30 to 40 breaths, you're gonna breathe forcefully in through your nose, and you're gonna make sure you follow that breath wave from stomach up. So they're deep, full, forceful inhales, and then you actually just exhale like lightly. So you don't force it out, you just kind of let it go. So you do that for 30 to 40 breaths, and I'll demonstrate a little bit of that. And at the very end, you take one big giant inhale, full exhale, get all of the air out, and then you hold. And you hold for as long as you can. So again, you're gonna time your hold, and you'll notice that by doing this method, you're able to hold for a very long time. On average, I go to 60 seconds, 90 seconds, and my highest has been 2 minutes. So we're still working on some improvements, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you what the actual breathing looks like. So it's gonna go like this. "30 to 40 breaths of that. Again, big inhale at the end, exhale, and maximal hold. And I'll do this for about 2 to 3 rounds. Again, just depends on the day, depends how I'm feeling. You can always go more as well. You'll kind of get like that light feeling. You won't actually like pass out from this, don't worry, but you can definitely feel this in your body quite a bit. But what this does is it increases the sympathetic nervous system. It gives you a lot of energy, and I know in my experience it's turned out to be super, super helpful. So that's why I end my practice with this, because again, I start in kind of a parasympathetic state, super relaxed, just trying to get in my body, and then I end getting into a sympathetic state so that I can have some energy to start my day. So that's what I do.